Today we're going to be talking about Hamlet by William Shakespeare. No duh. We're going to be talking about the Willow Speech, which is said by Gertrude in Act 4, Scene 7.
So, the obvious parts of this speech just explain that Ophelia is dead and she drowned.
Pretty sad. And she died near a river, and there's a willow tree,
Which she fell out of.
Yeah.
Into the river.
So
yeah, that's like those parts are probably pretty much at the beginning and the end of her speech, and the middle part just seemed like really muddled. Like when I was reading this, at least, it's like, what's happening? So
with the flowers and
yeah, there was
stuff.
a lot of details that.
So, we're gonna read this part and then analyze it. So, yeah.
So pendant boughs.
Go ahead.
Okay. There on the pendant boughs, her coronet weeds clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid like a wild, they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old lauds, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element.
Clambering to hang. It sounds like she was hanging off of something. So
she'd gathered all these flowers, and she was climbing up a tree so she could hang them, clambering to hang. And then an envious sliver broke.
So obviously the tree snapped.
Oh, the branch did.
And then she was in the water, floating. Her clothes spread wide.
Mermaid like a wild.
Yeah, and then
instead of freaking out, she started singing.
Chanted snatches of old laws.
Because she's going so insane with
going
her father's death, and then Hamlet totally just like telling her off. So does Ophelia actually commit suicide? I wonder.
It's never specified in the book because there's all these details that Gertrude has, but
yeah,
she doesn't say that she's ever there either. So.
It's really specific, so it's, it's not like, okay, she drowned. It's she climbed up a tree, fell, and started acting really crazy, and then she drowned.
Yeah, because if Gertrude actually was there, don't you think she would have at least tried to save Ophelia?
Yeah, that's
especially
kind of messed up.
Gertrude liked Ophelia.
Yeah, so it might have been just all Gertrude's speculation about what happened, because she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so it brings up the question of whether Ophelia committed suicide or if she just died.
Well, the clambering to hang thing, though, because it's like, well, no, that could have been like she was contemplating it, and then the branch snapped, so she died anyways.
Or she could have broke it.
Oh. Why? That's
so she could commit suicide.
That seems like a weird way to commit suicide. I'm jumping on a bridge and then snap.
She was crazy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
she was cuckoo in the coconut. You get my reference.
Yes. So she's going crazy, and she acts like she's not drowning, even though she is, and then she dies.
Yeah.
She sinks first, and then she dies.
We sound so cheery about talking about this. So I guess next we're gonna talk about the themes in the speech themes that can be applied to this speech, and then the book overall. So the 3 themes you come up with are death, madness, and suicide.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
yeah, death is
Well, death is. Well, obviously it involves Ophelia's death. This speech, and the whole play pretty much involves a lot of death, especially in the end, where everyone dies, which is, I guess, where that spoiler comes from.
What spoiler?
The one where everyone was like, "Oh, I'm reading this book," and someone says, "Everyone dies."
Oh!
You're like, "Oh my god, no! This is about bunnies." But I guess no, for Hamlet that's actually true. Everyone does die at the end, pretty much.
I mean, it also starts off the book too with Hamlet Senior's death.
Yeah.
So it's a catalyst and a conclusion. So.
Interesting way of starting and ending a book.
Madness. So we obviously know that Hamlet's pretending to be, really crazy, and then Ophelia starts going crazy. And
actually crazy.
Yeah, and not faking it. Well, like...
Hamlet becomes crazy too, though.
He does. Because, it's like that whole thing where you, like, fake it till you make it. Like, you're acting, like, in a certain demeanor for so long, and then all of a sudden, that's you.
True.
Mm-hmm. Now, suicide.
This is the only suicide in the book, right?
Well, I think other people try. Well, like Melissa was telling me.
Hamlet contemplates it during his to be or not to be speech, but he doesn't, he obviously doesn't do it because he gets poisoned or stabbed.
Yeah.
And there's also the gravediggers were talking about
how. They were talking about like suicide. Yeah, like the Christian burial and like how Christians are supposed to go to hell if you try to commit suicide or if you commit suicide. Or I think it's both. Whatever.
I don't know. They were just debating if it was an actual suicide or if she just died.
We'll talk. Okay. Well, see you guys in class. Bye.
Unless you're a stranger.
Awkward.